put your cup under there yet. Just hold your cup to the side because it's about to spit out some water. It'll go through like this little cleaning cycle. You let it go until you see the coffee start to run a little clear, and then you take your cup out and hit cancel. So it doesn't dilute it, so you keep a stronger coffee in your cup. You'll realize the coffee you've been drinking your whole life is just burned like horse piss. You're tasting coffee that's been in there for decades, I think. I mean, you can taste the 1970s coming out of that machine. I want to go over one of the most important questions that drivers always have on the road. We're always asking ourselves this in our minds, and that's, where can I get the best coffee? So I've got a top, let's say a top 3 in mind. There's a lot of bad coffee. Well, all of it, and I'm not, so what I'm talking about as far as the coffee goes, I'm talking about the regular coffee we have access to at truck stops and stuff they sell at the grocery store. Like, I'm not talking about real coffee. If you've never had specialty coffee, like from a local coffee roaster, that's real coffee. It's on another level. It's so much better. Once you drink some specialty coffee from a local coffee roaster, you'll realize the coffee you've been drinking your whole life is just burned like horse piss. Like everything, like you could go back and forth about, you know, Starbucks, Dunkin', Pete's, McDonald's, whatever coffee you're talking about. All of it is horse piss compared to specialty roasted coffee from a local roaster. If you, I mean, look it up in your area and see if you can get access to some. You should definitely do it. And I mean, you need a coffee grinder to grind it yourself, because they're going to sell you the whole beans. But so I live in East Texas. If you're ever in the Longview, Texas area, we got a place called Silver Grizzly. That's like our local coffee roaster there. And they, I mean, it's so good. If you pay you could pay 3 times as much for that coffee, and you still feel like you ripped them off. You feel like you got it for free because it's so much better than every other coffee you've ever had. It's crazy. I mean, it's like, I guess if you traveled overseas, maybe if you went to Italy or something, the Italians, you know, they make fun of Americans for drinking this watered down stuff we call coffee. They drink like espresso is what they call, you know, that's their coffee. So that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is like Lowe's, TA, Petro, Pilot, Flying J, mom and pop truck stops, or what you can get at Walmart or Kroger's, Albertsons, Brookshire's, HEB, Publix, what you get at the grocery store, or what you get at truck stops, or other restaurants. I'd say if I narrowed it down to a top 3, it would be so I like McDonald's coffee, and normally I drink hot and cold coffee. I really like hot coffee in the mornings, but 90% of the time I'm drinking coffee after I've been up for a while, and so a lot of times I'll get the cold brew or just an iced coffee. And I mean, I like hot coffee in the afternoons if it's like freezing cold out, but most of the time I'll drink cold coffee. But I like McDonald's coffee, so any truck stop that's got a McDonald's, I like their coffee. I really like Dunkin' coffee. I'd say McDonald's and Dunkin' would be in my top 3. And so the Pilots and Flying J's, a lot of them will have this like a Dunkin' station kind of near their coffee machines. And I like the Dunkin' cold, just the original cold brew. They don't have cream or sugar added to it. So that's got a pretty good flavor. And so the TAs and Petros, if you can find, they have these machines. It's spelled S-T-O-K. I don't know how to pronounce it. Stoke, I think. But it's a cold brew. So, and the cold brews, if you put ice in your cup, like a real cold brew, it's already cold, so it doesn't dilute it. So you keep a stronger coffee in your cup, you know, by not putting hot coffee on top of ice and then just, you know, like mixing a lot of water in with the coffee. But, so I like those three: McDonald's, Dunkin', and Stoke. Well, and I drink a lot of Love. So if there was a runner-up or an alternate, I would probably say Loves. Like the Loves, the machines that the machines where you push the buttons and then grinds the coffee right there, and then it brews it while you're sitting there or standing there. So I like those, and those I like the hot version much better. And you can do the cold version, but you gotta, there's a formula you gotta use. You kind of gotta trick the machine into giving you a decent cold brew. So if you to get cold brew out of those machines, what you gotta do is you gotta put ice in your cup, fill it up about halfway with ice, and then tell it to do the cold brew on a large cup. Don't put your cup under there yet. Just hold your cup to the side, because it's about to spit out some water. It'll go through like this little cleaning cycle, and once you see it spit out some clear water, and it's through that little purge cycle it's going through, it'll make a noise, and you just know it's done. And you put your cup under there real fast, and you let it go until you see the coffee start to run a little clear, and then you take your cup out and hit cancel. And then you just repeat that process 3 times. And normally 3 times is the magic number for me. I'll have a full, I can fill one of these cups up with 3 of those cycles of just getting the concentrated coffee, skipping the purge cycle, get the concentrated good looking coffee, and then pull it out before it runs clear. Well, and actually, so Pilot's got those same machines. So Loves, there's a difference in Pilots and Flying J's and Loves. They've all got the same machines, but Pilots have theirs, or Pilot, Flying J, they have theirs programmed a little differently. If you time it, the Pilots and Flying J's seem to run on a longer duration of a grind time. And I don't know if they've got a different grind setting where it's grinding the coffee a little finer, and so that's producing a different extraction rate from the coffee, or if it's just the time, just how long it's grinding. But so Pilot should be the alternate. Loves is not there yet. They're still in the ballpark, but they're not. Pilots is better on those machines that grind the coffee right there. Loves is the bat boy. They're waiting to get in the game. They're not there yet. So Pilot's on deck, and then the Dunkin', Stoke, and McDonald's are probably, I'd say, top 3. And then the worst coffee is just, I don't know that I have 3 of them, but I'd say any of the TA and Petros, like the original, just traditional coffee that they brew, and it's in that machine, like that coffee, you're tasting coffee that's been in there for decades, I think. I mean, you can taste the 1970s coming out of that machine. And they all taste the same. no matter which, they've got like 3 or 4 different like flavors to choose from, but they all taste like just old nasty rancid coffee. But I'm curious, let me know in the comments what kind of coffee do y'all like on the road. I'm always interested in trying new coffee and trying to get both stronger coffee up to a certain point and just better tasting coffee, because if you're a truck driver, you probably drink coffee all throughout the day. So let me know what you do, and I'll give it a try, and let me know what the worst coffee is you've ever had. And I know if you're a truck driver, you've had some really bad coffee. There's no doubt about that. But y'all take care. Be safe out there. Have a good day.